convention. It used to be a big deal who went first, who went second, what the timing of polls was. That's less true today.
But do you miss anything of the real convention? Because conventions were essentially a TV show that was covered like it was an event. They had the veneer of it being, it evoked when conventions mattered and people came in undecided and there were 36 ballots to elect a candidate and there were floor fights over the platform. Then for the last, 20 years, that became less and less true until it was totally performative and just a TV show. So I was watching last night saying, all right, well, if it's essentially just a TV show, we drop the fiction that it's anything other than a TV show, and we surrender to the Democrats and the Republicans putting on their own TV show. What's wrong with that? Or what's wrong with that?
I kind of liked it. Part of what I like about the surrender that you're describing is that they're getting rid of the pretense that anyone who's not a party insider should watch anything other than the prime time. Right, and they shortened the prime time. There were all these complaints about, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and other speakers only getting a minute, only getting 2 minutes. What's wrong with a minute? I mean, one of the things that I think we've learned from social media, from Twitter, is a lot of people write at 1,000 or 2,000 words something they could have written in a sentence. And a lot of speeches that used to be an hour long, a half an hour long, 20 minutes long, they don't need to be that long. You can say a lot in a minute. You can say a lot in 2 minutes. And last night, a lot of people did. So I think there's been some pretty good discipline enforced by shortening the overall length of the TV part of the convention and shortening the speeches, getting more people speaking in fewer words and being more concise.
Yeah, as AOC, a master of social media, knows the strength of TikTok is that they limit you to a minute. You could do a lot in a minute. And also, what does she need a primetime slot for? What does she need a political convention for? It's good to have, it burnishes the brand, but most of her successful tweets are gonna hit a lot more people than even a slot in, at 8:30 at night on the East Coast at a political convention. I kind of thought that the fight between AOC and Kasich was contrived, that Kasich got so much time. I timed it. It was a little under 4 minutes. So this is some huge political fight to have. 1 minute versus 4 minutes of on dying network television doesn't make sense to me.
Right. I mean, you could have taken, it would be an interesting exercise to do it. Maybe somebody has done it. Take past conventions, long, windy, we've got all day, we'll make people to watch us for hours. And you could just edit them down and you would have something that looked like this convention. So when you now have a convention that looks like an edited form of previous conventions, I would call that success. And if you watched all of last night, as I did, that you probably, I don't know if other people felt the same way. I thought the worst parts of the convention were every time a politician stood at a podium. Those people that, they're trying to bring the relics of the old convention style into the modern age, and it just looks ridiculous. Michelle Obama talks to the camera and